Look what the cat lover dragged in.
Hello.
It's Lexmark's 567. It's back from my birthday. A laptop showed up. Uh-oh. We got a problem. Oh, the battery held charged for all of a second. Okay, time for disassembly. Alright, this is a Dell Inspiron N4020 made in China, and the fan in it is noisy. I haven't opened one of these in years, so we'll start by taking the battery out and removing the optical drive. That's the screw here, and then you can pull it. I like to put its screw on top. There are no screws here, so now we'll take this cover off. Put its screw on there. This has no hard drive, so that's that. Otherwise you'd pull those two screws and rip that out. Under here there is one screw, but pretty much from here on out you just take out all the screws. These should be all the same. Those are empty. Always helps to have a magnetic screwdriver. There's one here. And the one hiding under the cover. And that should be it. So now we flip. And now we have to remove the keyboard. Right in here there's a clip, and somewhere in the middle is a clip, and somewhere over here is a clip, and there's a lot of hand salsa and other stuff in there which makes it hard to see on this one. So you go in there with a flat blade such as this. There's one. Just push it in, poke it in, and pry out backwards till you get the keyboard up. Push in, and there's that. The keyboard pulls out, flips over. A little spillage in this one. This one has the type of connector that you flip up. So get your fingernail under that, flip it up, and you can pull that out and remove the keyboard. This one flips up like that. Grab the little pull tab and pull that. This one is trickier. This one you have to lift up on this brown piece from underneath like that without breaking it. And then you can pull that. And once you have that done, you can now take your inside screws. There's one in the corner, one over here, one up here, and this one, and one more. Just grab under here with your fingernails. And take the top cover off. Okay, now here is the fan. And let's see, seems to spin reasonably okay, but it's certainly not good. On larger fans, there's usually a bearing of some kind under the sticker, but I don't think that's the case on these. So what we're going to need to do is do a lot more surgery on this, and I'm going to actually remove the board. So this is a little more involved than I wanted to. First, disconnect your speakers. That one's out. These are all the same screw, so they can all go together. And for the board, we have, in case by the way you haven't noticed, we're doing this all in one take. It's been a long time since I've been in one of these, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know how to make it look good on the YouTube. This cable has to be disconnected. This one I think just pulls up. Yes, like that, and out of the way. And I think we have all the screws out. There's a connector holding these boards together. That's done. You can take that out and flip the board. Yeah, it doesn't make really any sense to take this apart because there's nothing to access on this side. It's fully sealed. So about the best we're going to be able to do with this one, and I am going to stop recording for that. Well, it's just there. It's a junker anyway. We'll just see if we can make it work. We'll peel the sticker and see if sometimes there's a little slot or something where oil could possibly go. There we are, right there. So, we'll take some 3-in-1. Now, there's a lot of controversy about don't use 3-in-1, use WD-40. Don't use WD-40, use Zoom Spout. Don't use 3-in-1 red can, use blue can, use blue can, use red can, use blue can, use green can. You know what? All cans matter, okay? Put the oil you got. Don't use WD-40, that's not going to work. But anything else should be fine. We'll just put some oil there, and we're just going to let that soak in for about 5 minutes. Alright, we're going to have to do some unorthodox repair. The oil that I put on the top of it didn't want to sink in, and it's still kind of noisy in that. Upon much closer inspection, it looked like right inside the opening there's like dust and crap and all kinds of stuff, and that may be jamming it up. There's no real way to take the fan apart, so we're just going to drive it with some compressed air. Now, you want to go gentle at first and then give it a nice blast. So we're just going to run it It's still stiff. Oh, that could be a problem. Get rid of some of that. Yeah, see how it just stops immediately? We have to get some oil in there somehow. Now, I don't think putting any more oil on top is going to do the trick, but I'm going to do it anyway, and then we'll add the aid of some compressed air once again. My compressor may fire at any time, just so you're aware, so be prepared to turn your volume down. Okay, I don't have any better lighting at the moment, but we're going to try to get some oil in the little groove between the circuit board and the plastic. That's kind of what we're aiming for. So let me go ahead and just, really at this point we're going for broke, because the laptop isn't worth anything. It's not worth fixing. If I can get it to work, great. And I'm certainly not going to spend money on a fan for it, even though they're probably rather inexpensive. So we'll just glob the whole thing with oil. And then we'll go back to our friend compressed air. The oil will splatter a bit, but it gets up to a certain speed and then it wants to vibrate on its bearing there. So really what I'm going to do is just keep playing with this, and I'll come back in a little bit and let you know what happened. Okay, unfortunately we had absolutely no luck with that. So now we'll take these screws off, and now we're really probably on the order of breaking it. There's probably no hope for it. You will need a double-aught screwdriver. This is a number 0. This is a 00. So that's the kind you will need, a 00 or double-aught screwdriver to get these little screws out. And what we're going to try to do is kind of pull the blades off. It may end in a disaster. It may end up working. I don't know. It may damage something along the way. Usually, I mean, at this point we've already diagnosed the problem. We know it's a bad fan. It can still be replaced. But at this stage of the game, you know, got nothing more to lose. That may be part of the... Oh, there we go. Okay, now the entire fan is loose from there. But unfortunately... Oh, we can get it. Okay. So now we'll disconnect it. Oh, there's the inside. And like I said, it didn't really buy us anything. There's nothing really more to do except to get in there with a small flat blade and try prying, but I don't think we're going to have much success here. Oops, something creaked. I didn't like that. Oh, we're no better or worse. If I push any harder with that screwdriver, it's probably going to end up breaking. So this may be one of the first fans that I was not able to fix. But I'm going to keep trying, and we'll come back in a little bit and see what happens. There, we've gotten it out. So now we're just going to clean up the mess that we made before on the inside. Be very careful. You probably don't want to touch any of the crap in there. Yes, your fan will smell, or your laptop will smell like oil for the next few weeks that you use it, but after that it will dissipate and then you'll be good. But we have gotten to the place that we needed to. First of all, this isn't helping shit. That's hair, folks. It happens. Okay, you have it, I have it. Well, I used to have a lot more, but it's, you know, it goes without saying. So we'll take that out. Take as much junk and crud as you can out of that. Like I said, this was a very off-the-cuff unorthodox repair. The correct fix for this is to simply replace the fan because it has certainly lived its day. But it looks like we got it. Somehow the fan just sort of popped off. Maybe I pried at the right angle or something, I don't know. It seems that the shaft is clear. And now we're going to go for the inner sleeve. Put some oil on that. And with any luck, this will pop back. And without the hair, hey, it's going to need some time to work in, and we'll run it with some compressed air, but it's certainly not jamming up. We're spinning a lot more free. Yep, that's going to work now. At this point, it's time to reassemble. And to do that, we have to get the fan back on its metal piece. I don't know what you call it. Slip the wire through there. Well, the idea is right anyway. Slip the wire through there. This is not the way you're supposed to do this. The way you're supposed to do this is to remove the heatsink. But, you know, if you can take a shortcut and get away with it, then good. And for this, that might be the best way to get this back on. Because unless you find just the right angle, you're going to be stuck. And I can't seem to find just the right angle. No, I'm just not thrilled with that. So we'll go ahead and remove the heatsink, which is really what I should have done to start with. 4 screws for that. Supposedly you don't want to do this because this is going to, you know, you're going to want to re-thermal paste it and all that. That's another repair for another day. There's no need to do that. Most times the thermal paste or compound or whatever you want to call it is fine. In this case it's going to have to be because I'm not putting any on. And now we'll go and put the little tiny screws back in. Okay, heatsink goes back. These are numbered 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just start them all. Then go back and tighten them all down. Now that we have that in, we'll plug the fan back in. It's a little easier said than done. And there's that. Fan now spins a lot nicer. Let's see, we're not going to need that. Take the case. And the board. The board goes in here. So lift it up at an angle and sort of rock it down. And your goal is to get the holes here lined up and the connector will seat. Also make sure you don't do what I just did, which is to get your speaker cable caught under the board, in which case you can just fish it out and plug that back in. Otherwise your speakers won't work, and that would be sad. this connector seats back over it. Line it up first good and push down. And now we have some screws to put back. The ones in this connector are most important because otherwise it won't stay connected, and then your wireless won't work, and USB ports and Ethernet, and hell, it won't even power on because the power jack is there. A third screw here. Top cover assembly. Goes back on. We're going to stop for just a moment while I clean off the stuff that's here, if it can be. Alright, there's nothing to do with that. Now the power. These are not easy connectors to deal with. You have to grab the blue tab and put it in the notch between the brown and the white section. That's about the best explanation I can possibly give you. These are fidgety, awful connectors, plus it's recessed to make it even more difficult. Often while you're trying to put this in, the little brown keeper thing will push down and make it near impossible for you to get the cable back in. But I got it in. And push down. Your touchpad connector, get it out of the way, flip up the little connector, and wiggle it till you get it in the slot, like that. And close that. Take your crumbs out of the keyboard while you're at it. This one goes this way, so it goes in a normal orientation with the keyboard back there, and get that in. And when you have it in, when you push that down, you will just see the tiniest bit of that blue mylar at the end. And now put the hooks of the keyboard in at the bottom, like that. Close it up, and we can start reinstalling. Oh, well, actually we screwed up. A little overzealous today. I forgot to put the screws back. That was retarded. It is only 7 in the morning, so it's a little early to be playing with this crap, so that does happen. There were no cuts with this, like I said, except for when I already told you there was going to be. So we'll put these screws back. They're not really necessary. It generally holds itself together. But hey, you know, I'm a big enough man to admit I made a mistake, and we'll fix it. And took the hair with it. So we'll put these in. That's it. That should be all of them. Put that back. And now put the bottom screws back. Take your screw from your optical drive. Put your optical drive back in. And secure it. Sometimes you'll find that manufacturers leave extra screws in your machine. Only some have it, some don't. And if you end up with extra screws, congratulations, you won the prize. This one, unfortunately, I guess has lost all its extra screws, or at least I knew where to put all of them. Battery goes back in. The battery is not charged, so we're going to have to bring it back to plug it in. Okay, first time trying it since reassembly. This machine does not have a hard drive in it. Right on. Setup is good. Everything is all here. You know, that's all good. We'll let it sort of reboot itself. And it'll prompt us to go to the onboard diagnostics, which will run a limited set of them because there is no hard drive with the partition on it. And somewhere in a few minutes, the machine will heat up enough that the fan will be running, and we'll come back when that happens. It was on and just shut off, which means it's operating properly, and you heard, hopefully, that it wasn't making noise. I'll wait till it turns on again. So now you can hear it run nice and quiet. Total cost for this repair? Absolutely zero. This laptop will be featured in upcoming videos as far as putting a hard drive in it and getting it fully functional. But anyway, that was how you fix the fan in your laptop that has completely died due to lack of lubrication, dust, hair, and whatever else you don't even want to know might have been in there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.